Okay, so a podcast with Shardai Cosgrove from Fintellity. Now, it is a cost of living crisis, and we need all of the financial support and the financial health that we need. Fintellity, I linked up with and spoke with Shardai at great length about the new app, the new tech that they've got, which allows us to budget and to understand where we're spending money at a time when, let's face it, we all need to know. We all can have it all in one place. That's the magic of it. So as soon as this app is launched, I'm going to be all over it. So I thought it'd be an amazing podcast to put out there in the time of need that we're all in this cost of living crisis. So look up Fintellity, enjoy the podcast, and we speak a little bit about financial health too. So how that affects our mental health, how that affects us as human beings, the requirements that you sometimes feel as a human to be able to spend, to be able to come to social events. This gives back some control. I think it's an amazing app, and I can't wait to explore it more. And I can't wait for you to explore the podcast and then maybe have a look yourself. Enjoy the pod. Welcome to the Mentality Podcast. We're recording at the incredible Wheatwood Hall Hotel podcast studio. This is a podcast that goes way beyond stigma. We talk about men's mental health and mindset. We encourage the type of conversation that will open you up to another way to live life, another way to see yourself and the world around you. If you are ready for that, you're in the right place. I'm Stevie Ward, and I'm an ex-professional rugby league player and captain, and now I guess I'm a bit of a podcaster, a speaker, actor, writer, entrepreneur. I'm still working all that out, but at Mentality we help men take control of their mindset by teaching them to find purpose, resilience, and what I believe is the new success: inner peace. That sounds good. If you are that guy who is waking up to the fact that they need to do something different in life and the same old habits aren't working for you, it might be time to step up. If you want to start your journey with us, you can go to mentality.co.uk/coaching to join the best team you have ever seen. Okay, welcome to the Mentality Podcast. We've got Shardai Cosgrove of Fintellity on the podcast. I have got one tooth missing, which hasn't been too crazy for me recently. I used to have two teeth missing every now and then, having implants working. But now I've got to go back to the dentist to get the teeth or the tooth fixed back in, which is an absolute flipping nightmare. But yeah, we are having a podcast at the minute with Shardai Cosgrove of Fintellity, and Shardai and I chatted a little bit about Shardai's venture into doing some great work in finance. And we're going to talk a little bit about financial health and how that correlates with mental health for us as people, as human beings, in especially a crucial time right now where the cost of living is ridiculous. And I don't see it ending anytime soon. So this is a punchy topic to go into right now. And yeah, Shardai, thanks for coming on with your expertise and joining us.
Thanks for having me. Really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Amazing. Could you tell us, Shardai, a little bit about financial health and how that affects us as people?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think, there's been a lot of awareness over the last few years around mental health and, depression and anxiety and stress and all of those symptoms that go along with it. And there's been a lot of talk, go to your doctor, potentially look at different therapies or counselling sessions and self-help. And all of that stuff is great because that helps you once you've got the problem. But we're kind of looking at things from a different angle here. We're looking at like the root cause. So what are the many different things that could cause depression and anxiety? And high on that list is finances. So there are a lot of people out there who are very stressed about the state of their bank account. And it can be for many different reasons. It could be because your salary isn't giving you enough disposable income. So by the time you've paid all of your bills and you've got all of your essentials, you don't have enough for luxuries, and that can get you down, so you can't do things like go to the gym or hang out with your friends or do social things, which can make you feel down. At the other end of the spectrum, you could be somebody that, you know, potentially could have got out various different loans and now regret that and are in a vicious cycle of, you know, you're getting more and more loans to try and pay off the ones that you had to start with, again reducing how much you have at the end of each month, which can again make you feel down and create anxiety and stress. But also just in general, just the cost of living as people are going shopping and, you know, potentially what they could afford, they no longer can afford. That can also affect the way that people feel. So I think there's so many different scenarios out there, and I think we can all relate to them. If we haven't felt them ourselves, I'm sure we all have friends and family that have been affected by mental health and the finance section of it.
Yeah, 100%. I've got a few friends, whether they're successful or they're struggling, or all these perceived sort of external things that you can see people to have and sort of think that they don't have issues. I've got friends from different walks of life where finance has been a real hang up for them and has been a real challenge and problem for them. And it doesn't matter, you know, the amount of money that they've got or dispensable income. It's like a real lack of control, which I think can push you into anxiety and depression. You know, I've got friends that have really racked up debt and felt like there's no room to move, and it upsets their self-esteem, and they feel like they're not good enough, and they feel like they're not able to carry on sometimes, you know, and they don't know the way to go forward. And I've got friends that have gambled and really lost money that way. And then I guess it comes back to that intelligence, that financial health, that intelligence, to be able to have some control and to have some sort of understanding of the direction that you go in, and also to see progress. Because, you know, when people are in debt, it can feel so overwhelming, but sometimes you just need to see the progress. You need to see that chipping away, and you need to see that you're moving somewhere. And when you mentioned that point at the end about not being able to afford stuff that you used to afford, I'm in a weird situation right now. I've not been paid a proper salary from my old job playing rugby for a while now. It's coming up to 2 years, I think. So there's been a real task for me to sort of navigate the situation, you know, and to really look at my finances and understand what's going where, you know, what I can afford, and the differences of what I can afford and what I can do. And I sometimes think that I'm really proud or glad that I've done the work on understanding that certain things in life, you know, whether it's a car, whether it's being able to go out every weekend and drink what I want, and like those things don't have a bearing on me feeling happy. But it's so linked, it's so interlinked. Your finances, your self-esteem is so interlinked with what you can afford, what you can spend money on, and how you can present yourself in the world. So I really understand that. I really do get it. And, you know, I think there's so many people listening to this that have got their own perspective on finance, their own understanding and agreement with finance in their life, which can make them either feel good or make them feel bad.
And I think social media kind of plays into that as well. Because, like, let's say the summer period, everyone's talking about saving up or talking about their holidays. So it's kind of like that, those pressures are like, oh, you know, I've got to be posting pictures of me on holiday, having this amazing time. And then there's that pressure of, oh, I need to book one and pay for it. And how am I going to do that? Do I need a loan? Do I need a credit card? Am I going to use my overdraft? Same with a car. You know, the whole kind of keeping up with the Joneses. And I think that mentality of you want to fit in, you want to have what everyone else has, or you want to live the same lifestyle everyone else is living, or if you feel like you're living below that, then you're going to stretch yourself. And are you going to go without, or are you going to borrow? And I think it's when that gets out of control and you kind of lose sight of how much you've borrowed or how much you're spending, and before you know it, you're faced with like a wall of debt, And that can be really, stressful. And that's when people's mental health can really spiral out of control. And I think the other issue with finances is kind of like mental health being a private, personal thing that people don't tend to like talking about. So as a culture, as a society, we don't talk about salaries. We don't tell each other what our salaries are. We don't talk about how much we bought our house for or how much our car is worth. I mean, some people do, but most people don't. It's all very personal and private. So if you're suffering and you're struggling with your finances, you're also not going to talk about that either. And that, again, can make people feel isolated. So
it's an impossible game to win, really, if you think about it. Like, if you are hanging your hat on everything that you see on social media and the constant striving and improvement and showing off and building and growing, and that's what you devote yourself to, but then on the other hand, you don't speak about the reality of it, and you don't see how hard it is, and you don't see how hard these people have had to work that are in those echelons and they're doing it. And you don't also see the reality of how they feel during it, doing it. It can be quite a one-sided way to look at it and where to look at the world. Like, and you were saying people showing their own holidays, and I've just come back from traveling, and I was so lucky that I was able to go and do that and spend overall about 8 months traveling and being away. Luckily, I had some savings, and I can do talk and some little bits here and there that bring money in. But I'm fully aware of posting stuff online and it appearing that everything's perfect and amazing and brilliant, and everyone's gonna. And I didn't want to delve too much into it. I didn't want to put that stuff out there too much, because I knew there'd be people looking, going, "Oh, I don't get to do that," or "What he's got going on is so amazing." And in reality, there was amazing times for sure, but there were also, like life, there was some depressing times, some hard times for me, and it's just like it's presenting that reality as is clear as possible to people, I think. And that's one thing that I think we can try and do. Mentality on one side is to show people and reality as clear as day, so people can see as clear as they can, because then it stops that avalanche into that brick wall where you say, what do I do? I'm in this much debt. I still need to be keeping up with the Joneses, but what way do I figure out? And I guess, this app that we're going to talk about, and this amazing sort of venture, Shardai, that you've come up with. Can you tell us a bit about that, and tell us a bit about what the thinking is behind the app?
Just a quick one, guys. We have had 2 new counsellors join the team here at Fintellity. If you are at a stage in life where you are struggling to manage your mind and it keeps affecting your happiness, it is time to do something about it. You can finally allow yourself the time to sit down with one of our Fintellity counsellors who will understand what you are going through. They'll help you understand why you are struggling, and they'll give you the tools to get back to being happy and the best that you can be. A lot of the time, we just need to clear up any unwanted thoughts and emotions so that we can show up in life the way that we want to. Fintellity counselling is available in Yorkshire, Lancashire and the South East, including London. Sessions can be in person, face-to-face therapy or walking therapy. Alternatively, all counsellors can deliver sessions via Zoom. Go to mentellity.co.uk/counselling to start your journey.
So at Fintellity, we've built a money management app called Telli, short for intelligence. And the idea is that the app does the thinking for you. So just the basics, bringing those basics in and then layering on more information. So as a starting point, it just gets people into the thinking and the mindset of, okay, this is my income, these are my outgoings, these are my fixed commitments, things like mortgages, rent, car loans, all of those things that happen every month on a certain date, and it's the same payment. But then you've got variable commitments, which are things like essentials, which you have to have, but the cost of those can change from month to month. So things like fuel, food, toiletries, just those basic things. And then at the end of it, what you've got is your disposable income, which is what you've got left available for the rest of the month to do things like, whether it's to go out for dinner with friends, or, to go shopping, or to treat yourself, or, to save up for holidays, whatever it is that it can be. So the first version of the app is introducing those concepts and calculating that in real time for the user, so that you don't have to think about it.
No more spreadsheets.
Yes, exactly.
No more spreadsheets and manually doing something that I could never dream of being able to do. That sounds good to me.
Exactly.
It does all the work. Does all the work for you, and you can see in real time whether going out for that meal on a Thursday night is an option, or it is something that you can manage.
So the way that we've coded it is that we're giving people advice. So we're taking your personal information that you've consent to share, and we're calculating everything in real time and suggesting to you what your budget should be for the month and for the week, and then basically bring that down to daily budget. If you decide to completely ignore that's up to you. But if you're really struggling and you don't know where to start, and you think, right, I actually do need a budget, I need something to get me through this cost of living crisis, I don't know where to start, well, the app's perfect. You plug in your details, it works it out for you. Now, you can stick to that or not choose to stick to that. It is totally up to you, but it's the information and the data there in real time to help you. And then we've got all the other exciting features on top of that in our pipeline, which we'll be rolling out in the next few versions. So
what it is it's clarity in it. It's clarity and that opportunity to make a clear decision, really.
Yeah, and also we're inclusive as well. So there are many people out there that don't even have bank accounts. It doesn't mean you can't have this app. This app will give you the steps and the information and the tips on what you need to get a bank account. And if you're in a situation where you have no idea what you need for that bank account, so you need various ID and address verification, we're there to help you every step of the way. This app is designed for people, all different user cases. So you can be somebody who's in debts up to your eyeballs and you need help just to kind of get your financial profile back on track. Or you can be somebody who wants to save. Maybe you're saving for a wedding, maybe you're saving for a new house, or it's your first house and you're trying to get on that property ladder. We've got the tools and tips in there to help you hit those milestones and hit those goals.
Yeah, I like it. And there's the other sort of facets of it as well, Shardai. I know when we were talking, you were talking about ways to manage and possibly create a side hustle, or a way to sort of like turn a hobby into something which can bring in that extra income now.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it's like side hustle culture, for those that aren't too sure what it is, effectively it's just another form of income on the side. And there's many different examples. It could be, with the fuel cost situation, you may want to use your car, turn it into that asset and have it make money for you. So you could do something like work with a company that wants to get their name and brand out there. So you could put like the stickers on the side of your car, and as you're driving around, they're getting that brand exposure. You're making some money. You're driving your car, which is what you do every day anyway, and you're getting a bit of extra money on the side. I mean, there's so many different things out there that people can do, and one of the products that we've built is QR payment, which is an alternative to card processing. It's cheaper, it's instant settlement, and you can use that as a tool to help you charge those clients or those customers for your side hustle. It's a standalone piece of functionality at the moment, but as part of our journey we look to put that into the app as well. But yeah, you can have both, but eventually it will all be together in one place.
That's amazing. I love dog walking. Well, I love walking and I love dogs. And I thought, you know what, I come back from traveling and stuff. I like being outside in nature. I want to make sure that's one part of it. I could maybe do a dog walking side hustle for a bit, couldn't I?
Absolutely. I mean, there was a lady that was on my estate. She'd be walking like 6 dogs every lunchtime.
Really?
So honestly, there's so many weird and wacky ones out there, and I guess it depends like what you fancy. So you can, if you want something that's online, but maybe you work online, so actually you want that digital detox and you want to get out and do something more of a physical. So you can do like the delivery driving, or the ones with the bikes, but even just like boot sales or craft fairs, or turning your hobby, something that you already do that you really enjoy, turn it into a money maker. So like, rugby, coaching, online, there's fitness things. There's just so many different areas that people can go into. But if you're racking your brains thinking, what I actually could do with an extra, if it's an extra 50 quid a week or extra 100 quid a month or whatever, every little helps. Do something that you enjoy, that you're already doing, that you can turn into money. And we've got all of those tips out there for you to give people ideas.
So will that will be within the app then, as well as like another option?
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, if you're, I kind of break it into like three areas. So if you're somebody that's facing a wall of debt and you want to get it down quite quickly, and you've got a salary or a wage and you don't feel like it's bringing that down, side hustle's perfect. Get out there, do something fun that you enjoy, bring in some extra income and help reduce that debt. Or if you're saving for something, let's just say wedding or moving house, the two biggies really, aren't they?
Yeah.
Make it fun, get a side hustle, and you soon get that money in and tackle it that way. And it's an alternative to credit as well, isn't it? So rather than borrowing from friends, family, payday loans, credit cards, go and do something that you enjoy that brings in money, and you can get that savings goal. Or if you're struggling with the cost of living, you're struggling with your weekly groceries, what have you got in your house that you haven't used for ages that you don't need anymore? Set up a boot sale. Do it every week. Get out, get off get off your computer, get off your phone, get some fresh air, make some friends, do a boot sale, bring in some
people.
cash, and it makes you feel better as well. So
it's good fun.
There's just so many options out there, and that's part of what we're doing, is educating people about finances, but giving people resources and ideas and tips and tricks to help them through this, and hopefully uplift people and make them feel better as well at the same time. And I think the side hustle is definitely something that should be seen as fun and cool, and can just bring in that extra bit of money in times like now.
100%. No, it's good. It's good to think that I could be out there in Meanwood Park every day and flipping walking 17 dogs at the same time. I get a bit of a name for myself. But hey, look, as long as I'm enjoying it, I really have to get my tooth back in and stop scaring people with it. But yeah, no, that's great. Is there any other sort of like advice, Shardai, that you could give for someone who is at this moment in a bit of a area of debt, and something that they see as sort of gathering more momentum, really?
I think first and foremost, talk to somebody that you trust, like a friend or family member. Going back to that piece earlier about finance, mental health, people keep it to themselves and they don't share, and then you feel isolated. So I think talk to a friend or family member.
It's a pride thing as well, isn't it? It's a pride thing, It's like so many moments with a friend that I've got who had come out, and he wouldn't really be able to afford a drink, or because you just don't know the full story, you don't know the full background of what's going on, and once you twig and work it out, it's not an issue. It's just like, oh well, it's fine. It's attached. It's a self-esteem thing. It's a pride thing.
So we actually did a blog on affected others, but like from a friend or family perspective, we kind of listed what to look for in a friend who might be struggling. So if you have a suspicion that you've got a friend who doesn't seem to be themselves at the moment, like you say, if they used to be the ones that come down the pub with you or whatever it is that you guys did, and they've stopped going, or they've always got an excuse not to do things that they used to do, and they seem to be, kind of staying at home more. There are some, I think, basic questions that can be asked that can kind of like get that information out. And if it turns out that it's finances, then we can signpost them to the right people. So it might be a case that they need to speak to somebody at Citizens Advice. It depends how bad the debt is, but I think that first step is, if somebody is struggling, speak to somebody. But if you think of somebody that might be struggling, reach out to them, and then we can get them the right help that they need. And then we've got the app as well that can help people get back on track as well. So
amazing. No, and I'd echo that. Like, I want anyone who's listening to this to feel like supported enough, whether it's just from listening to this podcast or from what Shardai said, or just from the people around them, that they can say something, and there's logistical steps to work yourself through it and to find more of a solid ground. And if there's anything that we can do, and there's anything that you want to ask us or Shardai, then please get in touch and give that financial health a boost, because it's so important. It's so important.
Absolutely. I think that the key in all of this really is going back to people thinking it's personal and private with the app.
Mm-hmm.
It's between you and the app. Information, that data, and you can see it. So, a lot of people just bury their head in the sand and pretend that the problem will just go away and everyth's okay, and it's not. If it's eating you up, that's where the app can come in. And I think you can have fun with it with the side hustle, but I think just initially it's about seeing everything in one place, seeing the state of your financial affairs and going, right, okay, this is what I need to do to move forwards. And, we're going to signpost all the relevant resources in there to help people. But I think the key in all of this is let's get that conversation going. Let's get people talking about it, sharing it. Oh, I feel stressed. I can't afford this. I can't afford that. Let's get it out there. Let's get people talking. And just that in itself will start to make people feel better.
Yeah, it's almost bringing it out of your mind and your worries and your thoughts and making it clearer, allowing you to see it and allowing you to take action and improve and make progress. So I think it's a great idea, Shardai. And I want to thank you for coming on and sharing this. And I really do wish you all the best. I think it's going to be amazing. I think it really is going to be amazing. And I can't wait to try it out myself.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for having me. And yeah, absolutely. We're here to help. So it's an opportunity for people to stop stressing, to start thinking about finances in a different way, and also to have some fun. So
yes,
absolutely.
Yes,
Thank
and you're a great person, and I know you mean very well, and you've got a lot of reason and care behind this. So that's really amazing, Shardai. Where can people find you and interact with this app?
Yeah, sure. So we're on all socials, on the usual, so Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We also have a website, so it's nice and simple, www.fintellity.com. So you can find all of the relevant links there. And yes, we will be opening pre-registration for the app so people can start using the first version. And like I say, we've already launched the QR code for the side hustle. So if you're interested in that, feel free to find me on socials and download that piece there. So yeah.
Perfect. It's Fintellity double L. Fintellity with a double L.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you, Shardai, and really wish you all the best.
Thank you. Thanks, Stevie. It's great speaking with you.